Friend! Oh, new friend! Oh, friend! Please be my friend! Oh, friend!
What's up, Cheap Shot Nation? You are watching Cheap Shot Entertainment, and I am Luke, and we're going to go through the third episode of the Mae Young Classic and take you through the action as it happened throughout the 4 matches during the night. This is match 9 to match 12. Some great matches on show on this one. Some household names as well, some returning, some that were in the Mae Young Classic last year, but all put on a really good show in this one, as really good. And I keep saying really, but it is good. So get yourself a network subscription, watch the Mae Young Classic. It's an all-women's tournament taking place throughout September, with the final happening at the all-women's pay-per-view of Evolution. And we'll see how it goes, shall we? Join us for the run-through of the Mae Young Classic. So the first match on this particular episode of the Mae Young Classic features Kavita, Devi versus Kaitlyn. Kavita is from India, breaking ground over there, first ever woman to wrestle in America and break down those barriers over there in India. Going against Kaitlyn, former Divas champion, left unceremoniously from WWE, and this is her chance at redemption. That's how she's seeing it, and obviously she is from the USA, representing the United States of America. 2 very strong women in this one. What we've seen so far throughout the Mae Young Classic is the taller women going against the smaller women. This one was very evenly matched. Early on, it was pushed that Kavita was trained by the great Li. It's not quite something I would want on my resume, but it seems to be quite a big thing for Kavita at this time, and obviously Kaitlyn is strong. We know that from when she was in WWE before. So lots of lockups, lots of tests of strength. Kavita gets the early edge. Kaitlyn initially comes back, shows her speed, which is something Kavita doesn't have a lot of, but Kaitlyn does have the speed and the strength edge. Kavita goes for submissions as well, gets sort of octopus kind of stretch on Kaitlyn. So the crowd are very much behind Kaitlyn on this one. Obviously she's from the USA and a veteran of the WWE. Kaitlyn gets back in it with some very hard strikes, getting the edge over Kavita. Big shoulder tackle, knocks Kavita down. Goes for a slam, big slam, hits a drop kick, cannonball into the corner, and then finally hits the spear to pin Kavita's shoulders to the mat. And your winner in this one is Kaitlyn, going on to the second round of the Mae Young Classic. A little bit of redemption here for Kaitlyn. Very hard-hitting match, different to what we've seen so far in the Mae Young Classic. I really enjoyed this one. Kavita's getting better. Remember her from last year, definitely getting better with how much she's putting in. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. And obviously Kaitlyn's not lost her step, even though she's been out of the WWE and out of the wrestling ring for a good few years. So yeah, really good match, good way to start the show. And the second match of the show featured the first English wrestler in the Mae Young Classic for 2018, Ginny from London, and she was going against Toni Storm from Australia. Toni we know quite well, being she's quite a well-known name over here in the UK. She also wrestles for the NXT UK brand. In fact, Ginny does as well. Both signed to the NXT UK brand. So and they know each other quite well, it seems, during this match, because it was incredibly entertaining. 2 veterans, 2 women that know each other quite well, know how to go against each other and put on the best possible show they could. Early on, the thing in the Mae Young Classic is to shake hands with your opponent. Whether you like them or not, it is a thing, it's a respect thing, and Ginny refuses to shake Toni Storm's hand, and that's how the match starts. Early on, we've got a very heel-face dynamic. There's some pushes going on, there's some lockups into stalemates. Ginny gets on top early on in the match, slows the pace down. Very slow pace so far with this one. Storm then manages to get back in it, picks up the pace, makes it about her, makes sure that she can do what she does, which is quite fast wrestling, jumping around and things like that. And Ginny gets back on top. She's on top for a lot of this match. She really bosses Toni Storm in this match, which I quite like, because I quite like Ginny. Watching this match, it's one of my new favourites. It's a real shame that she couldn't get the win in this one. Obviously Toni Storm does win, moves on to the second round. So Toni Storm tries to get back in it. She misses a spear into the corner. I can only think it was a spear. Ginny gets her into a Japanese arm drag. Storm hits hard in the turnbuckle. Ginny definitely does not let up throughout any point of this match. But she's getting frustrated at this point, and that's where Storm gets the advantage. So Ginny's not letting up in this match. Like I say, she's very much on top for most of this match. She's not letting up. She's getting frustrated there. She can't put Storm away. She goes for a clothesline, missed. Storm counters into a German suplex. She then hits the Storm Zero after a bit of a fight with Ginny to manage to hit it. It is a Tiger Driver. It's called the Storm Zero. She gets the win. Toni Storm is your winner, and she goes through to the second round of the Mae Young Classic, again against a lot of the momentum during this match, but a really good match. Two ladies that are very much set up for each other. Two ladies that are set up to be the nemesis for each other. For every Rock there's a Triple H. For every Stone Cold there's an Undertaker. And I feel like there's that kind of dynamic with these two. So great match, very impressive. Toni Storm's always impressive anyway. I'm gained quite a lot of appreciation for Ginny in this one. A lot of psychology from her, which is great. She knows her character, she reveals her character, and she's going to be fantastic in NXT UK. So yeah, your winner, Toni Storm, going on to the second round. The third match of the night featured Xia Li from China, who has a very much of a mixed martial arts background, which would play out in this one, against Karen Q from the USA, from Chinatown in New York. So straight away you've got an idea of how the style of this match is going to go. It starts with what I've written down here is a martial arts stereotype. You've got Renee Young saying that they're breaking down the stereotypes, and yet this match starts with martial arts from two ladies who are quite obviously Asian. Anyway, that doesn't take from the match. It was a really exciting start actually, both sort of getting into this sort of Mortal Kombat type of position and then quickly going into the wrestling. There's lots of bowing, lots of respect in this one, until Karen Q turns heel on Xia Li. Xia Li has the crowd behind her. After that, like I say, the crowd was very much behind it and was like, yeah, it's martial arts. But yeah, Q gets the big boot on Xia Li. Q is very much on top at this one. Hard-hitting kicks, hard-hitting punches, slowing the pace down. Li then starts to put a few moves together, starts to light up Karen Q, and with kicks and punches of her own, again tapping into that mixed martial arts background. Q misses a frog splash, and this is the turning point, but my goodness, it was the most beautiful frog splash I've ever seen. The extension on it, the air time that she managed to get from that top rope on that frog splash was phenomenal. But she crashes and burns, squashed frog, and that's when the match turned. Xia wins at this point, while Karen Q is on the floor, sort of nursing her wounds after the frog splash, with a spinning axe kick to the back of the head. And Xia Li wins. I didn't see this one coming. I thought Karen Q was going to win this one, being from the USA, but Xia Li, I'm quite impressed with her. Another great match. So far we've had really good matches in the Mae Young Classic, especially in weeks 1 and week 3. Bit of a short match, but both ladies have not failed to impress me as a fan of wrestling, and I'm looking forward to seeing where both of these ladies go in the future. So your winner is Xia Li from China, going on to the second round of the Mae Young Classic 2018. And your final match for episode 3 of the Mae Young Classic for 2018 features Miriam, who is from the USA but representing South Korea, versus Allison K from the USA. Now, it's been made a big deal of that these two ladies have fought all over the world. They've been it's called the Frenemy World Tour. In the very first match that these two ladies had against each other, I think it was Miriam's first match, I think, from what they said, she broke Allison's nose. And obviously they're going to be playing on that throughout the match, and obviously in the promo they did as well. Looked quite nasty, split her nose right across her face. It looked really, really horrible, to be fair. But obviously these two ladies know each other really well. They've wrestled in loads of different countries, loads of different places for loads of different promotions in the wrestling world. And let me tell you, that chemistry, whether it's frenemies or not, works really well in this match. I've got a whole page of notes I made on this match because it was that good and a fantastic way to finish off the night. But again, we get another lock-up stalemate. Got straight shots by Lim, and she gets on top. We get a reversal by Kay, and then Kay gets into the ropes after Miriam then comes back. So after Kay manages to get into the ropes after an attempted submission, Yim then starts showing off. Kay dumps Yim to the outside, goes for the suicide dive and misses flat, straight out of the ring. Yim gets back in, we get a near fall. At this point, Kay gets a shoulder tackle and they go back to the outside of the ring. Suicide dive by Yim. She then is on top and she misses a chop into the post and set Kay up against the post, misses the chop, looks nasty, and then you get the commentators, the announcers, saying that she's broken her hand. Looked really nasty. Obviously they know how to work that spot. It's used quite often in wrestling. Then we get Kay back on top. Back and forth action, which is why it was so entertaining in this match. The whole idea of Allison K is that she does things with her pinky up. She does things really poshly. And she's not posh at all. I love that kind of dynamic. I love that kind of character. Kay gets really nasty at this point, starts choking Miriam with her own blue hair, and hits the fall away slam. There's a little bit of a small comeback by Yim on Kay, but Kay gets the advantage in this one. Yim then goes for the leg. Kay gets back into the ropes, another submission attempt there. Then we get exchanges of strikes from both ladies. Yim gaining momentum all the time in this one, having had Kay on top for most of the match. Yim counters whatever Kay was going to do at this point. I didn't quite see what she was trying to do. I think she was trying to do like a slam or something along those lines. Yim counters it into a sunset powerbomb, or a Canadian destroyer as it were. and gains the advantage. Kay then hits the big D. She always says that you can come out of anywhere, out of any direction. She can hit that big D, which is a lariat, clothesline, spinning lariat. She gets near fall. She's getting frustrated by this. Both ladies then hit the high kick. At this point, both ladies are down on the floor. The referee starts his count, and the match sort of takes a little breather. Yim manages to get on top of Kay at this point, but Kay then counters again. Yim did manage to hit the soul food, which is the top rope eat defeat move, and gets the pin on Kay for the win. So your winner in this epic match, epic final match on episode 3 of the Mae Young Classic is Miriam, and she is going on to the second round of the Mae Young Classic. So another fantastic match in the Mae Young Classic. They're lining them up like dominoes in this year's Mae Young Classic. The matches are going to be remembered for years, and we're looking like having a really good second round. And like I've put in my notes here, I'm looking forward to seeing if both of these ladies get assigned to NXT at some point, because I think these two could have a rivalry that could go for a very long time. Perhaps even the new Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa kind of dynamic in the heel face kind of thing, and they're going to fight all over the world. And just these two ladies, really good. Get yourself over to the network, watch it, get yourself a free subscription if you haven't got one. You get the whole thing for a month for absolutely free. So it's worth doing, and go over and watch the Mae Young Classic, especially if you're new to wrestling, new to ladies wrestling. If you're a young lady and you want to be a wrestler, these are the things that you need to watch. Absolute epic showcase of women's wrestling. And that brings us to the end of episode 3 of the Mae Young Classic for 2018. A great showcase of women's wrestling this week. All 4 matches didn't fail to impress me. The final match this week was the classic one for me. It's the one that people need to watch. It's the one that I would quite happily watch again. And like I say, I'm looking forward to seeing where these two ladies go. Whether they get signed to NXT and you get to see them more, you get to see this dynamic, this frenemies around the world thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on that. But this has been Cheap Shot Entertainment. We're nearly at the end of round 1 for the Mae Young Classic, but we'll continue week in, week out to bring you our reviews of that. So if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and share us with your friends. Leave a comment down below, let us know what you think of the Mae Young Classic so far, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.